Hey guys, welcome back to my series of MCU reviews, and today I am reviewing Guardians of the Galaxy, starring Chris Pratt, Vin Diesel, Dave Bautista, Zoe Saldana, and Bradley Cooper. A group of criminals must pull together to stop a warrior with plans to destroy the universe. This movie gets better and better for me every time I rewatch it. So I think that because the characters are so compelling in this movie. Like, Star-Lord is such a funny character, and, like, I really like, Drax. Drax has a very compelling backstory that, like, you really learn about his character in the first movie, but also you learn, he's one of those characters that you can't understand more as the trilogy goes on, and as the MCU goes on, when he appears in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, or he appears in an Avengers movie or something. So I really think that, and also Groot, it's amazing how of a character Groot is. Like, there's not like a terrible MCU hero. There's terrible MCU villains, but not necessarily heroes. Like, Bradley Cooper does Rocket. I think that is amazing. I love him as Rocket, and I love Zoe Saldana as Gamora. And I think that's really, really cool seeing that come to fruition. And the fact that all of the characters have an arc inside of this one movie is pretty amazing. And they don't have to have multiple movies before. They can just have the one movie, establish all the characters in the one movie, and send them off their journey. If you were going to tell me that the Guardians of the Galaxy was going to be one of the best and one of the most compelling teams in the MCU, I would have been like, huh, you wish. And yeah, it's pretty good. But not these characters, these characters are so good, and there's one of the best MCU teams other than the Avengers. Now, I am not going to lie. I prefer the sequels better than this movie, but this movie is so good and so much fun to watch. And I think that's one of those movies too that, like, I'm not a big Star Wars fan, right? Like, I am going to do my review series on them, don't worry, but I am going to watch it and do a review series for you guys. But I'm not a big Star Wars fan. These are the movies I would prefer to watch over a Star Wars movie. If you were going to go like, Jack, what space opera adventure movie do you want to watch? I was like, Guardians of the Galaxy. Easily. Like, that is the best you can do for a space opera. As opposed to a Wookiee, you have a tree. As opposed to a robot, as opposed to a robot not making any noise, you have a raccoon talking. Like, except for having some guy that has done the Castle Run in 12 parsecs, you have a awesome, funny character that leads the Guardians of the Galaxy. Except for having a princess that gets trapped all the time, you have this very kick-ass warrior in Gamora that is just amazing. And it's one of those things too where it's like, you look at it and you're like, yeah, it's pretty much Star Wars but Marvel. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, you watch it and you're like, yeah, this is easily one of the best Marvel movies ever made. They have planted seeds for Cosmo in this trilogy. Like, we see him in the Collector's Lair in this movie. We don't see him in Guardians 2. We don't see him in Infinity War and Endgame. We don't see him in Guardians 2. We don't get to officially meet Cosmo until the holiday special, and then Guardians 3. But I didn't realise that they planted seeds for Cosmo since the first movie. That kind of shocks me, to be honest. It's interesting that this movie has introduced the Nova Corps, and yet still no Nova in the MCU. That is shocking to me. I'm like, come on, we need Nova in this movie. Like, it's just one of those things, and you look at it and you're like, how come we haven't gotten Nova yet? And yet we have the Nova Corps in Guardians of the Galaxy. That is crazy to me. It's one of those things where it's like, you look and you're like, really? Like, come on. really? But yeah, no, and like, you watch it and you're like, oh my god, this is one of the most crazy movies ever made. Like, it's so shocking how crazy this movie is and how good it is. And that whole scene where they're in the jail, I remember that scene being an hour long and so boring. But watching it now, I was actually so invested in that prison break scene because, like, you have character development, but also you have, like, getting introduced to Drax and that whole dynamic, and you actually have some funny antics that ensue, like them trying to figure out a plan, and it's a still shot, which you don't really see nowadays, really. Much like, and this was around the time that, actually, it was the same year that the first Michael Bay Turtles film came out, and there's a still shot in that one in the elevator, so it's just going on in that one, but this one, you have a still shot on Star-Lord, Rocket, and Gamora figuring out a plan, and then you have the whole background doing it, doing its thing, and then you have Groot just reaching up and getting what they need to get. Like that is so good, and also, like, the whole thing of the get the guy's leg and that sort of stuff. Like, that stuff is just amazing. Like, I really, really like that in this movie. I really like the jailbreak scene. It's hard to rank the MCU because it's my favorite film series of all time. And to me, Phase 1 is the weak phase. And then Phase 2 gets better. So it's one of those things where it's like, because there's movies I prefer over Guardians. Because I would prefer turning on those movies if I was going to watch a Marvel movie, but Guardians is like that B trending A- for me. It's not an A or A+, it's like a B to A-, which we'll get what the actual rating is a little later. But it's crazy to me, like, because to me, Thor, Cap, and the first Avengers are clearly that best of Phase 1, and then the rest kind of fall in there. And then you have, like, Guardians, Ultron, Winter Soldier, and Iron Man 3 that are that great of Phase 2, and then especially, like, Thor the Dark World kind of falls in there a bit. And even Ant-Man a little bit too. But we'll talk about Ant-Man. But yeah, no, it's one of those things where it's like, it's so good, and it's fun watching these movies on Disney Plus where they give you the IMAX Enhanced. Because, like, that is just so great because you watch that and you're like, I'm actually getting the full thing of what the director wants me to experience. But when the black bars are there, you're just like, what? Why is that doing that? But, like, I actually do prefer the IMAX Enhanced on the screen. And it's so good in the IMAX feature on Disney Plus. Like, it's amazing. I'm going to give Guardians of the Galaxy 1 a 4 out of 5 stars. Yes, which is an 8 out of 10. I think that this movie is a really, really great MCU movie. This is a movie that gets better for me every time I rewatch it. I really like it. And, but yeah, no, I'm really excited to see, what goes on. Oh, actually, I do know what goes on because I've seen this movie multiple times. So, but yeah, no, so guys, please hit the like button down below if you haven't already. Hit subscribe to the little bell icon to get notified future videos that I make. I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.
Hey there. Subscribe to my channel. And also press this bell icon.